Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know it's Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. You're tuned in out of the box here. College football frenzy is in the house. Myself, Paul Spencer. Right next to me, I got Joe, the Joe and Sullivan. Right below him, we got Big Mike Loro. And right next to him, we got Sean Killer Kilrain. What's going on, boys? How we feeling tonight?
What's up, guys? Chilling, man.
Good, good, good.
Feeling great, man. I know we're talking college. I would have felt a lot better if the Phillies could have got that run home. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good.
I hear you, man. Tonight's a big game out there. I mean, you guys took game one from me. The guys. I even said, Phillies are probably the most dangerous team in the MLB playoffs right now. And when you get hot, you get hot. But I think that layover kind of killed the Braves a little bit. Momentum going into the playoffs. That little 5-day vacation. But it is what it is, man. I'm still going to be a Braves fan no matter what. But let's get into this college football, man. Last week, man, there was some upsets out there. I mean, some real big upsets. Not a lot of them, but little movement in the top 10, which we'll get into. But what games did you guys see out there that caught your eye? I know one for me, but I think we'll get into that a little bit later.
So I'll tell you, the game that caught my eye, boy, I'll tell you, I couldn't have been any more wrong than I was about the Tennessee Volunteers. I mean, because I was touting that they were frauds, that LSU was going to play them well, and they beat the shit out of LSU. It was like 40-13.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think it was maybe a little close game, but good God, we're talking route from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
I was a believer in Chip Kelly. Like, all right, he's got the momentum. He'll get a couple wins here and there. Tennessee. But dude, did he shit the bed? Like, what the hell happened down there, dude? Like, oh. Man, I mean, what did you see in that game, Joe? Did you watch that game or?
I didn't. I'd be lying if I said I watched a lot of it, but I mean, I just, I caught it. I caught a little bit of it, and like Mr. T says in Rocky, it was pain. You know what I mean?
Pain
for LSU.
Pain from the jump. Pain from the jump. Mr. T came out. Clubber Lane came out swinging like hell. It was over from the jump. It definitely was, but. Yeah, I mean, are we happy, though, that Chip Kelly looks like shit? I mean, sorry, Brian Kelly looks like shit. Are we happy about that, Sean and Joe?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's showing his true colors,
Exactly.
An arrogant prick.
I was going to say, you got Chip Kelly on the brain because you were the only one out of us that made that UCLA call last week.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were about to, do one of these. For taking that pick. But, I told you, it was something about the UCLA. It all comes down to, Dorian Thompson out there, the quarterback. If he plays well, he has something out there. I don't know what it is. I think this is his fourth year in the system under Chip, So it's his system. He understands it. And with the wacky Pac-10 out there, it scares the shit out of me. But I just believed in UCLA. I mean, I put, a couple hundred on it and glad it turned out. I mean, plus 310 on that line. Taking them outright, and it could have gone the other way. But man, we'll talk about that game. But Sean, what game did you see?
Texas and Oklahoma. Holy shit! Quinn Ewers put on a show, and you want to talk about an ass whipping at Red Rivers? That was it.
Yeah, what was that? 49-0. 49-0. Is that what it was?
49-0. And yeah,
how
Quinn
bad?
Ewers 289.
289. Yeah.
4 touchdown. Yeah, and next week they play Iowa State.
Exactly. Now, how bad, let me ask you, Sean, how bad does Oklahoma's alumni fans out there miss Lincoln Riley? What do you think they're thinking right now?
They miss him like a fat kid loves cake.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, and the funny thing is when, what's his name came in there, Venables, all they preach, and I even believe it too, he's a defensive coach from Clemson. He's going to bring the defense in there. But, dude, in the past 5 weeks, his defense has shit the bed every game.
Yeah, they have.
Every game. And he's supposed to be the defensive guru, But, man, I mean, Mike, what did you see? What game did you see, brother?
I watched two. I watched early on, I watched Maryland and Purdue, which was a really, really good game.
Yeah.
A lot of us were taking Maryland because they were at home. Purdue gets the 2-point win. How about that? Going for Tungo Vailoa going for that 2-point conversion at the end.
Yeah.
But, I watched that one, and then the second half of the day, I watched my Utah Utes go down in flames.
Yeah.
You sure lost that horse.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, we did lose on best bets last week. We went 2 out of 4. You know, the ones we lost were Kentucky -9 to South Carolina. They lost outright, 24-14. Sean, you took James Madison money line. They rocked them 42-20. Wake, my bet of the week was Wake Forest -4.
Yeah.
They won 45-10 over Army. But, you know, the unanimous one, 3 out of 4, was Utah -3 versus UCLA. But, you know, some idiot on the show said UCLA outright. But, you know, I'm glad I'm still on the show for predicting, you know, the vice versa. But, yeah, we went 2 out of 4 last week. Wasn't good. You know, lost 3 weeks in a row. So, like, you know what? We got to come up with some real shit at the end of the show here to get our money there. I mean, we're still positive 55, but that's nothing. You know, that's nothing. But my game was UCLA, Utah, man. I mean, it was a statement game. I thought Utah was going to put up a lot of points in the previous shootout, but it kind of was actually, but still 42-32. But
yeah,
UCLA looks something, man. Like I said, Chip Kelly, this is his 4th year in the system with Dorian Smith, and I think they have a shot, but I still think they're frauds, honestly. I think Utah overlooked them a little bit, especially being in UCLA.
Well, that and you know they turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't turn the ball over. You can't turn the ball over 3 times and expect to beat anybody. So, I mean, if they keep the ball, that's 21 points that come off that comes off the board.
Right.
Utah wins the game.
But you got to give UCLA the credit they capitalized, man. When the ball was turned over, they put it in the end zone, and they didn't settle for field goals, man. They got in the red zone and they punched.
I'll tell you what, that running back for UCLA is, was it Musa or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's a beast.
They're good.
Well, how about that kid from Pittsburgh? 6 touchdowns, broke Tony Dorsett's record.
Oh my God, he went off. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last week, I mean, it was a lot of great games out there. I was unfortunate I didn't see all the games because I was at the boxing event last week, and I did, recap some of the games that I wanted to see. But we took Kentucky -9 versus South Carolina. Was that just Kentucky being overrated that we saw, or is Spencer Rattler really turning this around for South Carolina? What did you see on that? If we didn't see it, we didn't see it. But what do you guys think of an opinion versus that?
I didn't see it, but I think they got lucky because they've been hot and cold. They got Spencer Rattler, and I'm that's the only thing I see.
That's the only name I can name on the team. Honestly, is Spencer Rattler being the quarterback, but. Do you think Kentucky just overlooked them, or do you think they're just, like you said, hot and cold maybe?
It could have been either or. Like I said, I didn't see any of that game. So, I mean, if you're looking at it from just kind of glancing, seeing the score, like, we don't know, man. Like, South Carolina can match up really well with them. You know what I mean?
Right,
so, just like earlier this year, they matched up real good with Florida. Kentucky did. So,
right.
It's just a matchup thing, probably.
Agree.
Some of those teams you could probably put them in a hat and Kentucky could beat Florida, but Florida beat South Carolina, but yet South Carolina beats. It's a
draw. Yeah,
exactly.
Agree. Yeah, I mean, well, last week, was there any other games that stood out to you that, if you want to talk about before we move on to another subject here?
How about the Alabama game? Alabama really struggled against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it was circled on, the calendar for both teams, actually. But I don't know if you guys seen this, but in the beginning of the game where they were warming up, did you see Nick Saban on the middle of the field?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah,
his back totally turned, and one of the guys, I don't know if he was a PA, whatever he was, an assistant, came over to Saban and grabbed him and said, "Hey, Jimbo's behind you," and he actually did shake his hand. But they said good words came out of that. But dude, man, all that bullshit that was talking, there was words under his breath, like,
absolutely,
son of a bitch, vice versa. But I got to give Texas A&M credit, man. They stood toe to toe with them. They really did. For what they've looked like so far this year.
I'll tell you what, that's one game I'm looking forward to this week is them in Tennessee in the Big Rocky Top, man. I want to see how Tennessee plays up to them and can they knock them off, Like I said, we got a ton of big games. You already know what game I'm going to be into. Unfortunately, you guys do know I wrestle. I have a show Saturday, so I'll be on the road by 12 o'clock. So I'll be listening to it. Trying to listen to that game, but
Yeah, that's an early game. That's 12 o'clock too, Mike.
Yeah.
I know. Unfortunately, I got to go from Philly to Wildwood, pick somebody up, and then we got to go to the show. Like, we got to be at the show by like 4 o'clock.
Wow.
We have a 4 p.m. call time, so I got to drive to Wildwood, pick my buddy up, and then drive back up to Deptford. So,
damn, it's like
you got a lot of running.
Damn right, you're running around.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's a way to go to the show. Like, when the show's done, I got to take him home to Wildwood and then drive back to Delaware County, PA. So it's like Sunday, I'm going to be at the Gobbler show on Sunday. Like, hi guys.
One eye open.
You better get some coffee for that one, brother.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm going to be listening to it. I'm going to try to get it on my phone and watch that game because I want to watch them fall. We've been saying it all year that we don't think that they're not top 4, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I hope Penn State knocks them out. I really do.
They're going to punch them in the mouth.
I think they are too. And I'll tell you what, Manny Diaz got that defense playing.
That's the thing. He's the lighter to the fire.
And here's the best thing, man. Like, Penn State had an off week last week. So now they had an extra week to prepare for Michigan.
Oh, absolutely. To get the wounds healed up.
And Michigan, to me, like, it's 2 guys on their offense you got to stop, Corum and Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can stop Corum out there, I think you got a legitimate chance. I mean, he's pretty much
he's
leading. He's 11 touchdowns already this year, And if you stop him, I think you got a legitimate chance out there. I really do.
Well, I mean, they've been playing Sisters of the Poor most of the weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you think Michigan will We'll go on to them real quick. I mean, we'll jump. Let's talk. How about before that? How about we talk top 10? Let's talk top 10 here.
Okay.
Right, there was some movement out there. We're here. New top 10 is what we'll talk about. We'll start with number 10. Mike, your team stayed put. Penn State.
Right, as they should have. I mean, they didn't play nobody, so how can you move up?
Right. Okay, I mean, this game, we'll talk about them real quick. If you beat we'll get the Michigan's ranking real quick, but there was a little movement with them as well. But if you beat, Michigan this year, where do you think you jump to, Mike?
I think they'll probably move up maybe 1, maybe 2 spots.
Really?
I mean, because, dude, the SEC is so condensed. I mean, and there's a lot of SEC teams in there. You would have to literally wait for some of these guys. Like, we have a power matchup this week with Alabama and Tennessee.
Right.
The loser of that is probably going to bounce out of the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Do you think that? See, I'm looking here. You got Michigan's 5. You got Tennessee 6, Southern Cal 7, Oklahoma State 8, Ole Miss 9. Now, if Penn State knocks off number 5 and Tennessee gets their ass kicked by Alabama, then I think it kind of goes. Then you got USC against Utah. Now, if we could get Utah to beat USC, you might be able to get Penn State could possibly move all the way to 5 or 6.
I just was going to say that they're going to jump to 5 if that scenario happens. Absolutely.
Well,
this week is like what they call Judgment Week. Basically where you're going to have a lot of floating teams out there. Where if you win, being at the 10th position at Penn State, you have a shot to move in the top 5. If you play your cards right on this week, you really do.
It's going to be kind of hard for them. Like, I think 5 would be probably where they would plateau. And the reason why I'm saying that is just because you got Clemson that'll be ahead of them. Clemson's going to have to lose to somebody for them to move up. You know what I'm saying? And they also play Ohio State. So when they play Ohio State, me personally, that's a loss. I mean, I'm counting that as a loss. That's going to drop them back. So, like, really, I think the highest they could probably plateau would be probably 5.
Yeah, but hey, Mike. Though, if you look at it, right, bro. The good thing about Penn State, even though it seems like it's unlikely because we don't think they'll beat Ohio State, in theory they control their own destiny. Because if Penn State beats Michigan and Penn State beats Ohio State, they're going to be top 4 because they would take over Ohio State. So the top 4 would in all likelihood be Georgia.
Listen, I would.
No, I'm saying if they won both games.
No, they wouldn't. I guarantee you, they would find some way to keep Penn State out of there. There would be another SEC team that would go up there. It would be Bama, Georgia, Clemson, and they would leapfrog Penn State. Penn State, I'm telling you, they're not going to give it to the Big Ten, even if they beat Ohio State.
Yeah, but what? I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State, so I think it's a moot point. But I'm saying if they did beat Michigan and Ohio State, I see a path for them to be in the Final 4. You could see the path.
I can see it as well, Joe. I mean, you look at it, if we're speaking of SEC, you're looking at Georgia and Alabama. being in the Final Four. The legitimate number 3 is probably going to be Clemson because that cake schedule they have. If they beat Notre Dame and they can beat probably the Wake Forest in the ACC championship, they got a clean run to that 3 spot. That 4 spot is wide open. You're looking at Ohio State, Penn State, USC, which still has some big games even this weekend. Utah, they control their destiny if they can get in. Just run the table, or even with the 1 loss, and it's going to come down to Ohio State and Penn State. That's what it's going to come down to, that 4 spot. That's just my thoughts, but.
Yeah. I think Penn State would have to continue on. Like, even if they beat, like, the only way I can see them, honestly, moving in that top 4, that playoff bracket, the only way you're going to see them get up in there is if they beat Ohio State and then win out, like win the Big Ten championship.
Well, that's what I meant, though.
All right.
That's what I meant. Like, no, I was just saying they control their own destiny as far as if they do win out, if they win these games, then they're going to be number 4. That's all I meant. You know what I mean?
Well, but then we're going to get rickrolled by fucking Georgia. It's a hell of a consolation prize.
Let me ask you guys this real quickly. In the beginning of the season, Joe and I, the first weeks on the show, we were very high on Notre Dame. New system, new coach. But losing to Ohio State week 1, Mike? This is directed to you. Do you think that if the schedule was out there and Ohio State played Penn State early in the season and got that loss out of the way, and then you ran the table, does that give you a better option to get into the Final Four? We'll lose early rather than lose late.
Yeah, probably. And that's the only reason why I say that is because I think there's 3 teams in the country that can lose early and still make up enough momentum to be
there. Yeah.
I think there's only 2 though. Who's your 3? I got Alabama, of course, Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. They can all lose early, and they will be there. As a matter of fact, you can probably throw Clemson in there too. So they would be your 4 because that's who they love having.
Yeah, they like having that. And Clemson, like you said, Paul, they got a cake schedule. So
yeah, I believe
that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. I really agree with that. But
I mean, come on, look at these 2 near misses with Alabama.
Yeah,
and like they've only dropped. Like there was a couple times they should have been out of the top 2. Like when they damn near got out.
Yeah, it's like top 4. Yeah.
Right.
But they weren't.
No.
Well, if you guys, let me ask you this: if you guys are, on the BCS committee, once it comes down in 2 weeks, they're the BCS standings. And let's say Alabama loses to let's say they lose to Tennessee this week. Not handily, they lose 24-23. Last minute field goal by Tennessee. Ohio State somehow loses to Penn State, okay? And Penn State loses a game in there somewhere. So both teams, let's say, are 10-1. Who do you take based on strength of schedule versus the Big Ten versus the SEC? Do you put that Bama team in there who lost to this week number 6 Tennessee, or do you put that Penn State or Ohio State over the Alabama 1-loss team? What do you do?
Ohio State.
See, I mean, what I might do is they would put Alabama in there. I don't think there's any way they would keep Saban would get that nod, I think.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah, that's how it's always going to be. But with strength of schedule, I say Ohio State. But
no, strength of schedule will go to Bama.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Let me take it to a step further. Let's say both teams run the table, and Penn State. Let's just knock Penn State out of it real quick, or we'll do both. Either one. Whoever wins that game, there, you go to the Big Ten championship. You lose in the Big Ten championship. Does that take you out of the top 4?
Yes.
The Big Ten championship.
Yes.
But what if Alabama loses? Do you still give the nod to Alabama? Because they're going to play Georgia. You definitely know they're going to play Georgia. And they lose handily. Georgia rocks them. Georgia rocks them by 20. Penn State, Ohio State, the winner wins by 3 points. Legitimate, close game. Do you look at strength of schedule, or do you look at that game? What do you do?
Wait, is Alabama undefeated before they lose to Georgia, or they have?
Yeah, you're both going straight through undefeated because they don't play each other in the regular season.
Yeah, well then, I mean, if Georgia's the number 1 team and Alabama loses to them, unless it's like 45-0, I still think Alabama's in the top 4.
Yeah,
I agree.
It depends on the game. Yeah, the game.
They've always said the SEC, you can lose 1 game and still make it to the BCS no matter what you are. To me, it's bullshit. It really is. You know, you look at some of these teams out there. You look like App State. Their strength of schedule, they beat the great teams, lose to the bad teams, but still, it's like, you know, the SEC has that upper leg on the committee. You know, we're the SEC, we're the dominant NFL farm division. But
but you know what? I mean, Paul, I agree with you guys too, because it does get frustrating that there's an SEC bias. But like, look at this top 25. I mean, you got
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got Tennessee. You got the top 2 teams are SEC. You got Ole Miss at 9, Tennessee at 6. You got where am I at?
Florida.
Yeah, you got Florida's not in there, but I mean, you got Kentucky still. You know what I'm saying? So
North Carolina State.
What you got, like 5 teams? You know,
I mean, the SEC has 4 of the top 10 teams out there. You're hitting almost 50%.
I didn't even name Mississippi State. That's an honorable.
Old Miss, yeah, exactly. Ken Fry has a question here before we go. What do you guys think about the AC commissioner telling ESPN there's a lot of push to expand the playoff system in 2024? What do you guys think about that?
I think that's great. I think there should be more teams.
Exactly.
Showcase more colleges. Yeah.
And my thing is like, okay, the last game of the season, you know, before you get to, even after your Big Ten championship, your Pac-12 championship, you still have 3 weeks before the national championship game. My God, that's
3
time
weeks.
right there.
3 weeks, dude. You got like a month.
Well, 3 weeks, you know, legitimate time.
3 to 5 weeks.
But that's time right there where these schools can make the money out there, you know, expand it. Because one game, dude, we've seen this shit. Anybody can knock off anybody with some preparation out there.
But see, that's the whole reason why, Paul, they don't want to do that. Like, if you're playing the top 4 teams, okay, and 4 knocks off 1, that's kind of, okay, we can live with that. But if you move to an 8-team playoff and, you know, 1 beats, you know, however, they give the first 2 buys and then 3.
Like you have a shock. Yeah, shocker.
Yeah, like,
but
then all of a sudden.
But we're all for the Cinderella. We all watch college basketball, man. March Madness is one of the biggest times down the season. You're always looking at that St. Mary's out there. You know?
Exactly.
You're always looking at Coastal Carolina and say, oh, they're a 16 seed.
Exactly.
Boom. They win that game. They move on to, you know, the 32 elite, you know. Then you go to the 16 and you jump on that team like, holy shit, I want this team to do something. But I want to see it. I think we definitely have to expand it. I've been, you know, looking at this for years and years. And it's bad because some of these Power 5 teams are definitely going to be in there, but some of the odd man out, dude, give them a shot, man. Look at the games. Give them a shot, man. You know,
I'll give you one right here. So say we're talking about the top 4, right? So say you got teams right outside the top 4. Say Southern Cal has 1 loss. Southern Cal's a hell of a team. I would like to see, right? Even a team like UCLA, like they might be a little fraudulent, but Chip Kelly's got them turned around. So, like, going forward, I would love to have like an 8 to 10 team playoff where you can give a team like that a chance, because those schools on the right day could upset some of these big schools.
And that's just like you said. Look at UCLA versus Utah. I mean, we honestly, I thought about it. I really thought UCLA was going to win this, but you know, 99%. You know, I don't want to say 99, maybe 80% of the, you know, college watchers out there had Utah marked on this game to definitely win this game outright easily. But on any given Saturday, you know, any team can win, you know, with the right preparation, and it's about clicking right now. I mean, think about it. You have USC, you know, we'll get into the rankings here, but any team can win this, man. I think we definitely go to, you know, at least an 8 game. Maybe you give 1 and 2 the buys the first round, you know, which they deserve. But you know what? Hey, just go by the system and let it go, man. It's for number 1 is for the school, and dude, I want to see like a December madness in college football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it, and I hope it happens. You know, hopefully. I don't know if it's going to expand next year. We're looking, I think, 2026 is what they said. But man, make it happen, man. Give these give the Cinderella team out there a shot. You know,
wouldn't it be so much better? I mean, you know how you have all these bowl games. Yeah, 90% of them are bullshit. You know what I mean? They're glorified exhibition games. The only reason anybody watches it is if you got money on it.
And
you know, if you don't have money on it, you don't give a shit.
To your point too, I mean, okay, let's just say, you know, all of us play college football, and you know what? We'll just go around the room here. You know, we'll go top 4. I play for Georgia. Joe, you're Alabama. Sean, you're Ohio State, and Mike, you're Clemson. You know, let's just say, you know, you're definitely going to play because you're in a top 4. But all the other teams that have these bullshit blockbuster bowls, the Alamo Bowl, you know, the Nickel and Dime Bowl. their best players sit out, man. Look at Florida 2 years ago. The quarterback and 3 wide receivers sat out because of bullshit.
Because of
that's what gets me too, man. It's like
that's why I don't bet bowl games.
Right,
because by the time you get to a bowl game, if it's the cock-a-doodle bowl,
mm-hmm.
they're not going to be. There's not going to be nobody playing. Like, dude, by the time
they sit their best players,
right. And by the time that game starts, it's going to be the coach and his 4 assistants against the other coach and his 4 assistants.
And the other thing is, like, look at last year. We had fucking Brian Kelly bail on us right before the bowl game. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think they should be allowed to do that shit.
There's
you have to say true to your team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's Ken right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Unless you're in the top 5 and you have something to play off, the semifinals and you're going to play. You're going to have your best players play. It's an audition.
I never understood that. Like, the coach was like, "Oh, okay. By the way, I know I got a bowl game to prepare for, but hey, guys, it's been real. I'm going to go coach, UC Chattanooga."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think they should be allowed to do that until their season is final. You have a bowl game. After that bowl game, then you can go.
You're committed to your team, and it's like a slap in the face, not only to
you're under contract.
The players, like you
like,
bailed on them.
That's exactly what Brian Kelly did last year. 2 weeks before the game, he's just like, "Hey guys,
he had that little meeting." Mm-hmm.
There's like Rob Hefner, Brian Kelly, that motherfucker. You're exactly right. I mean, he pissed me off. Like, I wanted to fly down to Louisiana, punch him in the face and, shove a pool boy right down his freaking mouth after that crap,
And I think he lost a lot of recruits too due to that, like the incoming recruits. And they say, you know what, screw you, I'm decommitting. And it's a shame, but it is what it is. Because
Notre Dame does have the I think top 3 next year, of course, for the next 2 years. But I'm just glad they're just starting to win right now. They I'm still not sold on Drew Pine. I'm really not. I'm still not sold on him. But hey, listen, I know who the biggest Notre Dame fan is. Ohio State right now. They want them to continue winning. They definitely want the strength of schedule. But let's go on to the top 10. We talked about Penn State being at number 9, which is legitimate. Ole Miss stayed put at number 9. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think
I
have no issue with that.
Okay.
No.
Now, number 8, we got Oklahoma State. What do you guys feel?
They're right where they should be. Now, we'll learn a lot about Oklahoma State this week because they play at TCU, and TCU was actually favored by 3.5. So we'll learn a lot about Oklahoma State.
I've seen that. There's favored by -3. So both are coming in, in the Big 12 5-0, 5-0. So this is definitely going to tell. There's some big games out there this week. There's 4 top 10 matchups playing each other in the top 10. So this is going to be a movement weekend. It definitely is.
If you're a Penn State fan like Mike, I think you're probably a TCU fan this week because you want to knock Oklahoma State down a peg.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. What do you think, Mike, about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. And then also too, like, you also got to be a Utah fan this weekend too to knock off number 7. Like, the more teams in front of you that lose, the more you move up.
Mm-hmm.
So you stop and think. Like, you can literally have 6, 7, 8 all lose.
Yeah, you figure 4 top teams are moving out of this week. So. If you're sitting at 10 seed right now and you can knock off, number 5, what is late? Michigan's number 5 now. If you can knock off number 5, you got a clean shot at number 6 possibly. You definitely do with a good win. But here's my team. My sleeper was out of the top 30 at the beginning of the year, USC, sitting at number 7. Now they dropped. They were 6 last week. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I don't know why they dropped.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Well, they had a close
game.
Could it
be because of who they played, or
I think it was. I think that wacky Pac-12 out there, when you play a Pac-12 team, it's style points. You got to win by fucking 50 points.
Well, I was going to say they beat Washington State 30-15. That wasn't like that wasn't that close.
Mm-hmm. What do they expect them? Hey, like, we're supposed to beat everybody by 50 to stay put. I don't get that. I really don't. But then you have teams out there in the SEC. You barely win against a non-ranked team. And you stay put. I don't get that.
That's a bias. It's the SEC bias.
Very biased, yeah.
I don't get that point. But here we go, Tennessee. USC plays Utah this week, and Utah is sitting at 20 now. They dropped 11 spots. That's a big game. You have Oklahoma State at 8 playing TCU. Now, Tennessee, they're in here. What do you think, Tennessee? They have Alabama this week.
Well, I mean, this will tell you all you need to know. I mean, if you're a Tennessee fan, this is the biggest football game you've had in years.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
you got Alabama coming down to Tennessee. Alabama's 7-point favorites. I mean, if you could somehow knock off Alabama, I mean, boy, your program is right. I mean, you're cooking.
You boosted that program real good.
Oh, and I agree. If I'm that coach in there, I don't know what his name is, but if I'm that coach in there, I'm thinking like, listen, guys, Alabama's been favored by, 10, 15, 20, 30 points on every team so far. We're only minus 7 points, bro. That should tell you something right there, that we're on everybody's radar. They know what we can do. I'd use that as momentum and a little like motivation. At home. Don't let this team come in here and smack you in the mouth. This is the college football baby. They love this team. Knock the baby out. Get the baby out of here. Get him out.
Yeah, like we were saying, again, getting back. I know I keep bringing up the Penn State thing, but for Mike, like if you're a Penn State, you're probably hoping Alabama beats the shit out of Tennessee, because if Tennessee somehow competes with Alabama or somehow beats them, then that's really hurting a team like Penn State.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you before we go all away from we'll get into Alabama, but let's say Tennessee wins this game just by 3 points. How far does Bama drop in your eyes? I'm going to write that down. See how far you think they drop. Now they're sitting right now at 3. They drop from 2 to 3. How far? Let's just say Tennessee wins 30-27. How far are you willing to drop Alabama, and how far are you willing to put Tennessee up?
6 spot in Tennessee spot. 6.
Okay.
Nope. They'll go right down there.
Okay. Yeah. They have to drop out of the top 4. Yeah. Too many close calls, and if you lose, nah, dude, you're gone. Like, look what happened with Ohio State. And I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't like the Buckeyes, but for them to drop from 2 to 3, just because they steamrolled the team that they were playing, and they dropped in the rankings. Like, no, if they were the number 2 ranked team until they lose or an unranked team gives them a fight, then you could drop them, a little bit. Maybe not out of the top 4, but then you could drop them down. They dropped them with no excuses at all because Alabama beat up Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Well, 49-20, man. They beat Michigan State. Like, come on.
Yeah, Sparty's not good this year, man. I'm hoping Penn State beats them because for some odd reason that team's got Penn State's number.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't matter where they play, whether it's in East Lansing or up in Happy Valley. It's always a shit weather game. It's either raining, snowing,
you're right,
or both. Or they're playing in mud 6 feet deep. Like, it's always some shit show game.
Yeah, bad inclement weather.
Well, let's speak of the other team in Michigan Wolverines. They were 4. They dropped to 5.
Good.
Is that warranted? I know you want them to drop, Mike, but this is going to tell us a lot this Penn State this week. Of course, it's going to tell if they're frauds, if they're legit. We want to see, because I think they should be in the top 5 no matter what right now. I agree with that point, but I think Harbaugh's a fraud. I think he's one-dimensional.
Dude, their whole offense, I told you, their whole offense is 2 people. It's Corum and Hart. You take away them. Now, listen, Corum or Hart's going to be going one-on-one with Joey Porter for most of the game. So wherever he goes, he's going to go. So you basically got to just stop Corum. You stop Corum, you stop the Michigan Wolverines.
I agree.
Now, I will give Michigan this. Michigan's got a very nasty front 4. They do. Even with Hutchinson leaving and Ajabo leaving, they still have a nasty front 4. But you can run
that nose tackle's pretty badass.
And you can run against them. Like, I mean, I watched Indiana was running up and down the field on them last week. They just couldn't score. Penn State's got a 3-headed monster. You got Singleton, 6 foot 220. You got Kevon Leeds, like 6'2", 230. Like,
2 battering rams, man.
They got 2 battering rams, and then they got the speed guy come in too, the other freshman.
Well, let's move on to it real quick. Let's go to number 4, Clemson. They jumped Michigan. They're sitting at 4 now. They were 5. This team, Mike, I know you have them in the BCS. I think they're still, to me, overrated. Being in that ACC, I really do. I think they have an easy run to the BCS here. The 2 teams that they're going to have to play is Notre Dame and Wake Forest, most likely. If they can run those, they're definitely in the top 4. What do you guys think about Clemson, real quick?
I like them. Where they're at.
I like them. I think they're better than Michigan. and I think they deserve to be there.
Okay,
they got more players.
I'll tell you what, like you want to talk about one-loss teams that like I think people around the country should take a look at. It's definitely that Wake team, that Wake Forest team.
You know how I've been on Sam Hartman's. I love this kid. I think Wake Forest is no joke. I like the way they play. You know, they run the ball, and with Hartman throwing that rock, it's insane what they can do. They catch you at the right moment.
Yes, they do.
It's insane what he can do. You know, but well, let's go top three real quick. Alabama's at 3, Ohio State's 2, Georgia number 1. Do you guys agree with this? I agree with this ranking right now. I definitely do.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like Bama should be 3 to be penalized for their barely beating these teams. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I agree with that 100%. But I mean, my thing is I want Alabama out of the top 4 because with being out of the top 4, let's say if you sit at 5 and you go to the SEC championship, win or lose, you're still a 2-loss team. That should definitely take you out of the top 4 and put one of these 10-1 teams over jumping like the Ohio State, the Penn State, the USC, people like that. I think that they should over jump them. Right now, I'm a huge Tennessee fan. I really am. I want Alabama out of it so the BCS can say we can't put a 2-loss team in there. We can't do it. We can't do it.
Oh, trust me though, they will find and bend ways to get their asses in.
Oh, we've seen it before. We've seen it before. Hell yeah, we've seen it before. Like,
you know it.
I mean, Nick Saban got a picture of somebody doing a pig or something.
Yeah, I mean, you sit there, on Selection Sunday, you're sitting there like, okay, here's my top 4. Then, Alabama can't be there. Then you see the project, the things up there, and you're shaking like,
3.
What the hell? They're number 3.
Yeah.
How? How? But
that picture.
Yeah, there's a picture out there somewhere. I don't know what he has, but man, he has
blow up dolls and pigs and squeaking.
Definitely. Well, we talked about the top 10 here real quick. Let's talk games of the week real quick, and then we'll get into best bets. Mike, I'll let you go first because I know you're already sweating this game. You already have you're penciled in. What do you want to talk about the Penn State game here coming up?
I want to see this Penn State offense, the way they run the ball. I like what Clifford's been doing. He takes his shots downfield, but they're few and far between. The receivers I think he's getting a better rapport now with these young freshman wide receivers. Like I said, Penn State's all freshman and sophomore. It's him and the tight end, or him, tight end, and the one wide receiver are the only seniors on that side of the ball. So for them to get a kind of he's gotten continuity with them. Like I said, you got the 2-headed monster with Singleton and Lee. They've been, they can go up and down the field on you, and it's really Michigan's going to if their line can hold up. That's my only question about Penn State is their offensive line. If their offensive line can hold up, they're going to give Michigan a fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went to the big house and turned it into our house.
Okay, Mike. Before we go into Joe and Sean, give me a score on that game.
I think Penn State pulls the upset. I really do. I'm looking 24-21.
24-21. Okay. Write that down. Joe, what do you got for me?
So, I'm looking at 2. I mean, I'll tell you, there's one that. So I've always been high on Clemson, but there's something about this game. Clemson's got to go to Florida State, and they're only favored by 3.5. And I'll tell you, that kind of tells me a little something. I know Florida State's not ranked, but the fact that Clemson's only favored by 3.5 tells me that game might be a little closer than people are thinking.
Right.
And I think I think it could be a trap game for Clemson. I think Clemson will win, but I wouldn't be shocked if Florida State gave them something to handle. I really wouldn't.
I tell you, I love that guy, Johnny, whatever his name is, the wide receiver for Florida State. He's 6'6" or 6'7". I forgot what the hell his name is. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Johnny Wilson is what his name is.
Okay.
6'6" receiver. I mean, he's blowing everybody up right now. I mean, he's a complete nightmare. But yeah, that line, Joe, that 3-point spread is kind of weird though. If you look at it, it's telling you something. But Joe, what score do you have on that game? I know you got Clemson there, but what do you got on that score?
Well, I'm gonna go Clemson win, and I'm gonna say like a 27. I'm gonna say it's a sweat, like maybe like a 27-23 or something like that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this real quick. Mike, I know you got Penn State winning this game, but Joe, let me ask you real quick. If Clemson pulls this out 27-23 with a basically not top 20 Florida State team, do they drop?
They may.
Okay.
They may, but I don't. I mean, it kind of depends on. All right, here's what would happen if Southern Cal goes to Utah and puts it on Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe is it or if Michigan. Mike doesn't want to hear this, but if Michigan beat Penn State, if Michigan were to beat Penn State kind of handily, then Michigan definitely leapfrogs them.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely does. Okay. So what do you got, Mike? What game are you looking at this week?
Ole Miss versus Auburn. Number 9 versus Auburn.
Okay. Ole Miss and Auburn. Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Just the way they're playing, that running back something, man, for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I think he's a freshman too. So
now does Auburn have a chance? Does Auburn have a chance in this game?
Nah.
No? Nah. Okay. What score do you got for me then?
42-21.
Damn, doubling them up, huh? Wow. Okay. Now this game might surprise you that I'm looking at. It's kind of a bounce back game for Oklahoma and Kansas. Now Kansas quarterback is out for the season. Gabriel?
Not necessarily. He said, "Don't count me out."
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Then
That's what I thought too.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he was out. So we'll skip that game. Now this game here is USC versus Utah. Saturday night, 8 p.m. prime time. This is going to tell you where USC stands and how bad Utah can bounce back from that loss last week. To me, this is going to be one of the best games out there. I just see it because this is your Pac-12 championship right here early. I really do.
Much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm still going to ride with USC. I love USC. I've been on them for the whole year now. Okay. I think it's going to be. Everybody thinks it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going to go USC 28, Utah 24. I think it's going to be low scoring.
Hey, can I tell you a game that kind of intrigues me a little bit that really doesn't really have anything to do with the top 10, just for the simple fact that when the hell was the last time Syracuse was kind of relevant?
Joe, it's funny.
I just was going
to say
Carolina
State at Syracuse is an interesting game to me.
It is funny you mentioned that. That was one of the games I wanted to pick up. I wanted to say that too. Syracuse sitting at 18. You know, I can't name anybody on their team. When was the last time they were in the top 10? Marvin Harrison days, Donovan McNabb days. That's it. You know, I mean, do you think they're frauds? I mean, they play good in the Carrier Dome. They really do. But you're going against NC State here. What?
I think this will be the true test.
Definitely. I agree.
Really?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Joe.
Well, I went on FanDuel today. The Cuse is favored by 3.5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That'll be interesting because, you know, NC State isn't a bad team. So this will really tell you something about them.
Exactly. I think you're going to be pretenders or contenders right here. That's going to tell you a lot. Because you're either going to get your ass kicked or you're going to kick some ass. And I don't know which way it is, but you know, I definitely circled this line real quick. I definitely did. But is there any other games?
It's like not only the Donovan McNabb days, but you could take it back even a step further. Remember Donovan McPherson?
Yeah.
Going back in the 80s, right?
Yep.
You know?
For the Jets.
Evan out there believes in Syracuse. He got 24-17. I don't know. I mean, I like the line on this one way, but I'm kind of afraid because this line's pulling toward Syracuse, but I'm not a believer. I'm not, you know. So I don't know which way to go with this one. But is there any other games that you guys are looking at out there? I mean, we have 4 top 10 matchups, you know, between each other. But
James Madison
again, against Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
You never know with those games, honestly. I mean,
no,
you're looking at, you know, Penn State, Michigan 5 versus 10. You're looking at Georgia's going to be a cakewalk versus Vanderbilt. Oklahoma State, Tech, TCU. You know, NC State versus Syracuse. Clemson. Go ahead.
Here's one. Illinois is finally ranked. Illinois is number 24. They're against Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 6.5. That just stands out to me just because I can't remember the last time Illinois was ranked. What was it, Jeff George days? I mean, it's a long time ago.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you're looking at a long time. I mean, Brett Bellamy out there. It's something that's kind of crazy out there for this week. But I don't know. I mean, I just feel that this week is going to tell us a lot. I mean, I think next week when we come on here, there's going to be a lot of movement, you know, up and down from some teams, and it depends how bad they win or lose, you know. I mean, I'm a fan of certain teams this week, let me tell you.
There's going to be more movement this week than in Pat Bernard Schwartz when he watches Carson Wentz.
Oh, boy. Evan says UCLA and Oregon. I think Oh boy. Oh
There'll
boy.
be no jacuzzis here, fellas.
No jacuzzis, boy. No jacuzzis. But I tell you, some people are going to be jumping in and out of that jacuzzi next week because there's going to be a lot of damn movement next week. We'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at like. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm looking at one that I think should be pretty good game. It's 2 4-2 teams. The Running Rebels of UNLV against Air Force.
I'm going Air Force, man. I am not sold on UNLV. They started out 4-0, looking great, then all of a sudden, or 2-0, blowing teams out, and my God,
Yeah, I mean the Air Force is -10.
Bob said you had to go there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I don't think I could watch the Running Rebels. Sorry, Rob Hefner out there. You're from Vegas, but we talked about them. I remember joking around with him on his Vegas show. I said, "Damn, the Running Rebels got a better record than your Raiders out there." But hey, I think they're that bad. Rob says, "Go Rebels." All right, Rob.
Hey, I don't know. Randall Cunningham ain't walking through that door,
Exactly. Yeah, they booted him in as the priest of the team, so they booted his ass out. So I don't think he has anything to do with that team anymore. He don't want to do anything with that team. But let's get into it, man. Listen, last week, man, we took some shots out there. I mean, our big pick plus 3,000 out there. We hit one game, and that was the UCLA game, of course. But best bets last week. We took 4 games. We hit 2 out of 4. We lost Kentucky -9 versus Southern California. They lost outright 24-14. James Madison won 42-20. Wake Forest -14 versus Army. They won 45-10. And the upset of the week was what we took Utah -3 versus UCLA. Lost outright 42-32. But guys, we've had a 3-week losing streak. This is not good for us. So we got to come up with some best bets here. What do you guys got for me?
I got one. Penn State, Michigan.
Okay.
I'm taking the under.
The 50, under, okay.
The under 51.5. I don't think there's going to be much scoring in that game.
Okay.
I picked 24-21, so that's around 45 points.
Okay, the under is what? What's the under, Mike?
51.5.
51.5, okay. All right. We'll come up with like 5 games and we'll pick 4 to see how we do this week. Sean, I'll let you go, man. You haven't lost this season with this shit, man.
Let's go Ole Miss.
Ole Miss,
okay. Yeah.
You going line on that as well?
Yeah.
What's the line?
Line is 14.5.
Ooh, who are they playing again? I'm sorry.
Auburn.
Auburn. Ooh. The War Eagle, huh? Okay. Joe, what do you got for me?
I'll tell you this. So this is a tough week.
It is.
I'm looking at this because there's a few, like I said, like the Lions really telling me something in that Clemson game.
Yes,
but I don't have the balls to take up Florida State. I just don't. I don't have the balls to take. You know what?
I thought you'd go Syracuse.
Nah, I don't trust Syracuse.
Neither.
I'm gonna go. What did I just say? You know what? I think Kentucky had a nice start to the season, but I think their time. I think their time is to turn the pumpkin. I'm gonna go Mississippi State minus the 4.5 at Kentucky.
Okay.
I think Mississippi State's a much better team than Kentucky. And I think Kentucky shot their load early in the season. I think they're going back to reality.
Okay. All right. Man, just like I said, Joe, this week is kind of weird. I agree with you. Some of these lines, I don't know if they're Vegas movement lines, but it's still early in the week, and they got these weird lines out already. Man. To me, I'm probably. Oh God, man, it's kind of hard this week.
What do you think of the what's your gut on the USC game? Because I was looking at that. That's a tough one, man. Utah's favored.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking. I have that written down here, Joe. I think I'm going to take USC plus the points.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. Honestly,
I like
plus
USC.
4.
Plus 4 now. Okay, went up. I got plus 3 here. I mean, to me, listen, USC is covered every week except for one versus the spread, and that was by 2 points. I'm still high on the USC wagon here. I have been even before the season. I think I'm going to take the USC plus 3. I mean, I really think it. Now, Utah's at home, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
They are. I think that's why they're favored, because they probably think they're relatively evenly matched.
And that's what you talked about last week. My thing is like when you're home and it's a pick'em game, you're going to get that 2.5 to 3 point advantage being at home. I think this is a pick'em game, but it scares me because Utah's coming off that loss, man. And USC is coming off not a scare, a good win, but I don't know. I want to stay away from it, but I think I'm going to take USC +3. I think there's going to be other games out there, but I don't know.
Dude, you know what other game caught my eye was Navy and SMU.
I like SMU though.
SMU is favored by 12.5.
Okay.
Navy kind of scares me because you got to prepare for 1 week out of the whole damn season where you got to play that wishbone offense.
And Navy just dropped 51 a week ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I would take Navy in 12.5.
All right, I want to write that down. Navy -12.5.
No, plus 12.5.
Plus 12.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, let's come up with 4 games here. I mean, we need to make some money. I'm not happy about this week, honestly. My pick.
No, it's hard.
This week is really hard. I mean, man.
What do you got? I mean, I don't really want to touch this game necessarily, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Bama game? Like Bama -7.
I like Tennessee +7. I like Tennessee +7. I think this is a statement time. I really do. Being at home, Rocky Top is going to be rocking there, and I think the way Bama's playing. I mean, we don't know if Bryce Young's playing, and that other quarterback, whatever his name is, he doesn't look like anything. He's a running quarterback. You shut him down, he gets rattled in the pocket. He looks to run. I think Tennessee +7.
You know what scarred me with Tennessee about 6-7 years ago? I think there was one game I had Tennessee at home, and I think they were getting like 10, and I was like, you know what? I was like Tennessee's going to step up, and Alabama won like 41-0.
And that's the thing with Alabama. You don't know.
So I have this like fear in my head where I'm like, I just don't trust them.
I agree. It takes me back to the Notre Dame game, the BCS championship game, +13 with Notre Dame. Oh, fuck, Notre Dame's going to win this. They're not going to win, but they're going to cover 13. Bro, 42-10. Come on, holy shit. But real quick, Evan's out there. He has a game out there. We'll write that down. Marshall Mines 12.5 versus Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, that's going on right now.
Yeah, that's right now. I think it's Louisiana's winning, aren't they?
No, Marshall's winning 7-3.
Okay, I did play that game.
I'll stick with James Madison.
James Madison. There you go. Well, they 25 now, aren't they? Right, 25 now.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can talk about this week. I mean, so what games do we want to take? We have like 6 games out there. Mike, you definitely want to stay with the Penn State game under 51?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about Ole Miss 14.5 versus Auburn? We want to take that one?
Yeah,
I'll take it. Yeah.
Want to go with that one? Okay.
Yeah, Auburn sucks.
Yeah. All right, we got Kentucky and Mississippi State here. What are we looking at? -4 here. Joe, that was your game?
Yeah. I mean, but hey, I was good earlier.
What's your gut, brother?
I was like John Lieb last week. I was hard.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie. I tell you that UCLA covered my ass because I had like 6 parlays out there. I hit 2 of them, but the single game was the UCLA game. So I barely made it out last week with not eating ramen noodles for this whole week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll definitely take that one. I mean, okay, my game, I'm kind of hesitant. It's going to leave it up to you guys. I want to take USC +3, but I'm okay with being, talked out of this. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm
scared. I'm scared of this game, honestly.
What's the over/under?
I need to look at the over/under real quick. I can tell you.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I was going to say to Mike's point, we might be better off looking at over/unders.
Yeah, I think so.
These lines are.
Well, this is a shootout, 64.5.
I think I like what's crazy? I think I like the under.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I mean, I have it, 24-28. That's 52 points. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think they're going to. You guys want to go with the under instead of that +3?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with the under.
Because I could see Utah trying to have a power running game and trying to control the clock, which would slow the game down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this game, I'll play it, on my own parlay, but I don't know. I'm kind of like hesitant. The reason why I'm taking this, I'm on the USC wagon. I've been on them. I've rode with them. They haven't let me down yet. But the other game we can throw in there is we can look at Navy plus 12.5. Does that overtake the USC game or any other games?
What about Florida LSU?
I'm staying away from Florida. I mean LSU, man. I don't know what the hell they're about. This week they might put up 50. I don't even.
Robinson.
And I don't trust Florida either. Florida's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know who's showing up with Florida. I mean,
okay.
Oh, that was a BS call.
And the other game is I like this other game. What do you guys? I'm going to play this on my own parlay. I'm not going to put it on here, but 2 games real quick. Clemson -3 versus Florida State, and North Carolina State +3 at Syracuse. I'm going to play these on mine, but where are you guys leaning toward that? I'll give you mine real quick. I'm going to take Clemson -3, and I'm going to take North Carolina State +3. What do you guys think?
I'm with you on that one, Paul.
I'm not believing Syracuse. I don't believe in them.
No, me neither.
Like I said, it's going to be a true test for them. Yeah.
I mean, this thing prove me wrong.
NC State played, I think, Florida State, like Joe was telling you about Florida State, and it was neck and neck. So I mean, the pitch you got to go with.
I trust Syracuse so little. I'd even consider going NC State on the money line to win the game.
I was actually thinking that because that 3.5 there, Syracuse has played nobody. Nobody's even talking about them right now. NC State's been in a couple dog fights. Clemson as well. So I think I'm going to go with the -3 on Clemson, and I might even take North Carolina State outright. I really think I might even take.
Go with your gut, man.
That's some good odds right there.
You know what I think they're trying to do? I think that Vegas. Syracuse hasn't been good in so long. I think they want you to bet Syracuse, but in reality, NC State is probably the side.
And that tells you something. Just like we said, early line here, Syracuse is minus already. Early on a Tuesday and Wednesday, they're minus. I'm really curious. I probably won't put this parlay until maybe Friday night, just to see where they're standing. But if this line moves, it just tells you, like Vegas, just like you said, Joe. Hey, bet Syracuse. We want the Syracuse to be legitimate.
Yeah, they want you. They're enticing.
Relevant, right? I mean, a lot of people don't look at the lines. I won't place any bets until Friday night, when the line comes out, or even Saturday morning, right after I get done coaching. But all right, so what we got is we're going to take Penn State under. We're going to take Ole Miss -14. We're going to take Mississippi State -4. We got Utah and USC under, and just want to go with those 4 then.
That works.
Sounds good. All right, we definitely got to win this week. All right. Boys, before we get out of here, is there anything else you want to touch on real quick? Let's go around the room. Hey, Joe, where can I find you at again?
All right, so you can find me, the Sully Squad, on Monday nights at 6 o'clock at your Philly Sports, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, you name it, YouTube. Also, the old school show was supposed to come back this Friday, but with the Phillies in the playoffs, we're going to blow it off till next week because we don't want to compete with the end of the Phillies game. So you can see me on the old school, and any Flyers fans out there, the Flyers start next week. I wrote an article basically talking about how I feel like they should break out the Sherman tank and just punt on this season. So check out the article, read it, let me know your opinion. Tell me if you could tell me if I'm an idiot. I don't care. I can take it. I got broad shoulders. So
Flyers season starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mike, what you got going on for me?
I'll be right here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, breaking down this Phillies game right now that I've been kind of going back and forth and watching. These horrible umpires. They've been bad.
That pitch to Schwarber was like way outside. I know, I'm right with you.
Yeah. So I'll be here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, breaking this game down. Looking forward to Eagles-Dallas. I'll be giving my takes on that. Mm-hmm. And I'll also be giving – that's a hell of a catch. Dan's response made a hell of a catch. So, and you can also catch me on the Gobbler, Devereaux, Edge of Philly Sports, Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock. So, kick it over to my man, Killring.
Killer, where are you going to be at this week, brother?
Check me out on the Soul Squad with my man Joey every Monday, 6 to 7. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also Broad Street South. We do a show Thursdays. And sometimes pregame on Sundays for Eagles.
Sounds
with,
good.
With Mike Fuji and Angel Martinez. So
sounds good.
If you guys are free, check me out.
Now, real quick, before we get out of here, I know, I'm outnumbered here being a Cowboys fan. You guys are Eagles fans. Let's take 5 minutes and talk about this game really quick. Joe, I'll start with you. Give me your your keys to the game, who's going to win, not who's going to win the game real quick, but your keys to the game, how they win the game, and give me a score.
Keys to the game, number one, is Jordan Mailata going to play? Because I'll tell you, I'm worried as shit about your pass rush. My key to the game is I'm worried about you guys, but I feel like if the Eagles don't turn the ball over, I think the Eagles are going to pull it out in a really tough game. I think turnovers are the number one key, and my hope is the Eagles are like one of the tops in the league in forcing turnovers, and as well as Cooper Rush has been playing, if we could get a pick or two or a sack fumble, I think that'll be the momentum changer.
Agreed. Okay, what score you got for me, Joe?
I'm gonna say, what did I say earlier? I think something along the lines of like a 23-16, something like that. I think it's going to be hard to get touchdowns. I think I saw a stat where Dallas hasn't given up more than one touchdown in any game this year.
They haven't given up two touchdowns.
That's impressive. Yeah.
All right, Sean, I'll go with you. What do you got for me? What do you think? Keys to the game, how they're going to win the game, and give me a score.
Got to run that ball. Got to tire out that defensive, especially Michael Parsons. That's key. Just keep on running, play kind of 50-50 ball, pass, run. But most importantly, defense has to attack Cooper Rush, close that pocket, punch him in the mouth. And I see, once again, like I said to Joey on the Sully squad, Bradbury and Hassan Reddick kind of having a big game. Okay. And my score will be 24-20.
All right, so we got a slugfest on all parts so far right now. Mike, what do you got for me, man? I know you're taking the Cowboys on this one, right?
No. Now, see, listen, Joey and Sean been nice. I'm not going to be that nice.
Oh,
I look at it like this.
Anyway, let's talk about the game here. I'm just go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
There you are.
I'm sorry. Something just happened to your screen. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, man.
See, that's what happens when you got a Cowboy fan as the producer.
Oh boy, shots taken again.
But here we go. I look at it like this. Yes. Have the Eagles not played a defense like the Cowboys? Yes. Cowboys got a great defense. But in turn, the Cowboys haven't played an offense like the Eagles. By the way, I was saving this for your show because I'm going to get on Cowboy Dave's ass tonight because I know he's going to have his pom-poms out, and I got some stuff here that I'm going to throw right in his face. Matter of fact, you're going to let me on because I'm going to go at it with him.
Well, we'll let you on after Sean Young leaves. We have Sean Young on tonight, the OG Eagles fan.
Oh, no, beautiful. Sean's awesome, dude. Mm-hmm. But what I have to say is that, one, Dallas, that defense is going to get tested. They haven't been pushed around. The Eagles are going to push them around. That Eagles offense, and Mailata will be playing. Everybody's good to go. I heard the report today. Everybody's good to go. That we got banged up last week will be in there this week. Here's the key to beating the Cowboys. You stop the run. You stop Pollard. You stop Zeke. You force Cooper Rush to become one-dimensional. And as much as I have a lot of respect from 11 from heaven, the Eagles got 7 from heaven in Hassan Reddick. He is going to give your offensive lines fits. And, Paul, we both know this. When Lane Johnson is across from DeMarcus Lawrence, he disappears. Plain and simple.
Okay. What's the score, Mike? 51-0 here?
No. I'm going to say this. Cowboys don't.
Oh, do we score? Do we score according to you? Do we at least fucking put a point?
Yeah, you're going to get in the end zone.
Come on, Swami.
All right, let me know what charity touchdown we're going to get in the fourth quarter with a minute. Let's go, according to you. Go ahead.
23-10. Birds.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about like 103-0.
No,
like one of those college scores last week.
No, listen. You know? All we have to do is put up more than 17 points. The Cowboys have trouble scoring more than 17 points. They got 2 gifts from the Rams last week. Eagles ain't giving up the rock, dude. Go and take a look.
Hey, brother, listen. Cowboys fans need charity once in a while, brother. All right, so. Come on.
They ain't giving up the rock. Oh, listen, we're going to give you a Merry Christmas. You guys will have the division wrapped up by then. Y'all can beat us on Christmas.
I hope so, because I'm thinking about going to that game out there Christmas Eve. I don't know yet. Still trying to get some airfare and tickets out there, but
let me know. I can hook you up with that.
All right. See, here's my predictions. I'm not talking homer here. I think the Cowboys had a legitimate shot. I don't think anybody's going to say it's going to be a blowout. I really don't. If Dallas can run the ball and keep moving the sticks, that is going to be the key to the game. I don't think we're going to be able to throw the ball a lot. I think it's going to come down to the running game, our offensive line. Advantage defensive line to your side. definitely give you the advantage there. But if we can find a way to slow it down, screens, slants, good tosses, good power running with the guards pulling, I think we have a legitimate shot. But it all comes down to that offensive. I'm not worried about our defense. I think we are legitimately stacked up against you guys. I really do think that. But my thing is that offensive line. If we can maintain a running game and keep those sticks moving to keep our defense fresh. With Mike, I agree with you. With the weapons you guys have, we haven't seen this yet. So it's going to come down to our offense moving the sticks, not in a shootout. I don't want that. I want a 7-minute drive. I want those 8 to 10-minute drives. I want those long, sustainable drives. That's the key. I don't think it's a shootout. I think I'm not talking Homer here, but I think we're looking at a 21-17 Cowboys win.
No way. No way. I'll disagree with you in the high heavens. The Cowboys are not holding the Eagles to 17 points. You're nuts.
Mike, you only had them at 23.
Yeah. That's it.
That's
all
3
right.
points, Mike.
I know it is, but
Mike, you didn't take the Eagles 50-0 here, brother. You took 23-10. You're only giving me 2 extra points, Mike.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Paul. I part of the reason I have 23. I think the Eagles are going to score a defensive touchdown. That's I think that's going to be like your defense really does concern me. That's where I think we're getting 7 defensively.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Joe. What you said.
Bradbury.
Get pressure on Cooper Rush, he can be rattled very easily because he's played a flawless, managed the game so far. The defense is winning you. All you got to do is go out there and protect the ball, which he's doing. But if you get to him early, you get a quick pick or a batted down ball. I want to see his mentality in his head, how he's playing a superior Eagle team. I really want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely do.
Yeah, he hasn't had a road test like this. I mean, you guys, last week he was in LA, but
But they don't look the same, Joe. They don't look the same. The Bengals, we got him early this season. Joe Burrows, he wasn't the same out there,
Well, no, LA. Oh shit.
Did he hit him with that?
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, Kuna just got hit right in the hand. What's his face? Yeah, the Rams look like a different team. I mean,
they're lost with Whitworth. They don't have Whitworth. They're done.
Exactly.
That O-line. Mm-hmm. That was your anchor.
Mm-hmm. I'm just hoping the Cowboys looked at game film. Last week with the Cardinals, what they did to you. That's what I'm hoping. But my thing is your key to the game is going to be one person's legs. It's going to be Jalen Hurts. We don't match up with that. We haven't played that all year. And that, to me, yeah, you're going to have Van Der Esch on him, but Van Der Esch is a north and south guy. There is no way he's going to be on a spy with Hurts. No way. I think you're going to bring in Donovan Wilson to the linebacker position.
I like him. I like him.
I do. I love him.
I like him. I think
he's pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. Dude, you know what? My honest, I know I'm just breaking balls about all this stuff, but I want to see.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to see Van Der Esch try to cover Dallas Goedert. That's what I want to see is our tight end against your linebackers.
I think they also have the upper hand with that.
I think that's going to be – well, you got to be careful because you can either be saying the Cowboys or Goddard there.
Goddard.
But I think that's going to be a good matchup. Another good matchup is going to be Diggs against A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but the other thing, you got to hope that safety is out there with that double move because AJ's licking his lips saying, "Oh shit, that double move
blanket him." Yeah,
double move is coming because Diggs bites on that ball.
Yeah,
he's
you got to have that safety blanket. Yeah,
agreed, 100%. I hope Blake Hooker's on his side the whole game because I'm not a believer on Diggs.
Hey, Paul, not to upset you, just as a sports fan, I hate seeing that Acuna looks like he's really hurt.
I know. I got it on right here real quick. I actually shed a tear real quick. I don't want to show it.
That's crazy.
Damn, that sucks. What? I hope it doesn't affect Wheeler because sometimes it affects the pitcher when you hit a guy.
Yeah, agreed. Well, boys, before we get out of here, man, listen, hopefully we win next week. This week is probably one of the biggest college weeks out there so far. I mean, 4 top 10 matches plus some other ones out there. And I know next week when we get on here, we're definitely going to be talking about some movement in that top 10. A lot of shakeups, man. A lot of shakeups. And we're definitely going to see how the BCS committee comes on there and who they're biased against. Is it Alabama? Is it other teams out there not willing to give them a shot? But, Mike, I do hope Penn State wins this week. I want to see it, So we'll definitely see. But
hey, look, I just it's like throwing a fart into the wind, dude. It's either going to go away from you or it's going to come back and smack you in the face. One or the other. So.
But real quick, since you're at a disadvantage here, real quick, we didn't even mention this team out here. Sean, you got that Notre Dame shirt, man. We're minus 20 some points this week. Do we win this week? Or, I mean, what do we look like? What do you think?
I think we do.
I think I'm not going to take the line. I think we're just going to cover the game, but
yeah. I mean, I think the
hope we
defense
outright
bails
win.
us out.
Yeah, I think we win this game. Hopefully we get to a legitimate bowl. Maybe they can bring back the Blockbuster Bowl and we can, watch that game, But we'll see, man. But
the only game I want to see, I mean, I root for Notre Dame every week, but they better beat Boston College from when I'm out there. I know if I see Boston College beat them there, I'm going to be pissed.
Joe, I might just walk home if I go with you guys during that game, brother. I'm serious. I mean, honestly, come on now. I mean,
no, Joe, you got to promise me one thing. If you go
What's
to
up?
Notre Dame, you got to make Lee dress up like a leprechaun.
Dude.
Oh, that's a
we
must.
should. He would look just like one.
If he doesn't dress up like a leprechaun, he cannot go.
Now, what is Lee? Is Lee a Penn State fan? What is he?
He's a sleeper.
I don't even know.
He's a sleeper. Sleeps all day, sleeps all night. He's probably sleeping right now. What is that animal? Sloth.
Sloth.
He's like
oh
a
my
sloth.
god!
He comes out.
My God.
We were going to get together for the Phillies game. I don't know. You probably
He's
passed
sleeping.
out. Who the hell knows?
Well, Joe, if we come to that game, it's a Saturday and a Sunday game. You guys are coming here Friday night, most likely at my house. Here's what we'll do: we'll have some beers, get Lee drunk, we'll face paint him with permanent fucking green paint, and then go to the game on Saturday.
Well, no. Well, I was thinking the plan. We'll discuss this later, but I was thinking it might make sense. Roll Thursday, right? We'll leave work early Thursday. Get up Friday morning, finish the drive out, get to Notre Dame like early afternoon. Go to the campus, walk around, go out to Corby's and stuff Friday night. Get up Saturday, do the game, and then do Eagles Sunday. Stay overnight, drive home Monday.
Oh yeah, because we get to Notre Dame, we got to watch that player march out there. The band. We got to see it all because it's one of the biggest tailgates in the world. It's legendary.
It is, man. It's awesome. That's where I got this shirt out there.
I was going to say, plus we want to have, if we get out there early enough, this way we could go to Legends. We could walk around the bookstore Friday. Then we could hit Corby's, dude, because you've been to Corby's, right? Mm-hmm. We could do Corby's or Linebacker, party it up. It'd be great.
I'm going to be the only Asian drunk like hell out there looking like a leprechaun, brother. So,
that would be great.
Do the Irish gig.
I might not be able to see you. You guys might have to help me out, but shit, I'll be partying like a motherfucker out there.
It's all good. Hey, man, don't worry about it. After a night of Corby's, nobody could see straight. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right. I hear you. All right, gentlemen, let's get out of here. Listen, after this show, we have the 215 boys coming up with myself, Dave Yarnell, and I know Mike Law is going to roast his ass on that one there. And we have the TOP Tower of Power. But if you're a Cowboys fan or you just want to hear, the OG Eagles fan, Sean Young, he's going to be hopping on there talking about the rivalry and what he has, going on there as well. So, listen, for myself, Paul Spencer, of course, we got Joe Sullivan, we got Sean Kilrain, we got Big Mike Laurel. Listen, for all of us, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show that was just happening. So we'll see you next week, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. College Football Frenzy. Have a great weekend.